Hey everyone, it's Maria here. Today we're talking about one-sided relationships. So hi to my Facebook peeps and good day to my YouTube fans and members here on Einefix Project and Sumilov Academy. So we're talking about one-sided relationships, and it's a very interesting dynamic because a lot of people struggle with one-sided relationships and are not even necessarily aware that that's what's happening. So my question to you today is, are you drained by some of your relationships in life, yet you're still feeling lonely? You know, if you're anything like me, I value being giving and devoted and reliable in relationships. And if you're anything like that, you might fall into this trap of being in one-sided relationships that I've certainly fallen into in the past. So one-sided relationships can leave us really exhausted and lonely because you're giving so much of yourself without necessarily getting the nurturing that you need from that relationship in return. And you may feel like you're trapped because on one hand, you're putting in all the effort to sustain the relationship. And then on the other hand, if you stop doing it, you might lose that person. So you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't in these one-sided relationships. If you continue to keep putting in all the effort, you're not going to have a relationship that's reciprocal. Or if you stop putting in all the effort, you might lose the relationship altogether. So what can we do about this? This is something that a lot of, especially predominant feelers struggle with, where we want to have meaningful connections with other people, and we're doing the things that we know make the other person, feel good about themselves or cared for. But then we're left with certain sense of loneliness and emptiness, and that can be really tough as well. So what can we do about this? Number one, take a really realistic, clear stock of all of your relationships, your current relationships in your life. So which relationships in your life are one-sided? That could be friends, family, colleagues. So take really realistic stock of where you are right now. Number two, learn to self-prioritize. And this is really important because when we self-prioritize, or when we don't self-prioritize, actually more to the point, we don't build honest, authentic relationships because we're not giving the other person an opportunity to really get to know us. Number three, we need to learn to self-care. So if we don't learn to say yes to ourselves, we don't learn to fully say yes to other people either. So at this stage you may say, well, Maria, that's really cool, but what do I actually say to people, right? So one of the things that I like to do in this particular situation is to categorize people into three different levels of priority without vilifying them or without objectifying them, just to try and get my thoughts clear. So this is not about treating people like they're not real people. This is not about, talking about people as if I'm somehow better. It's nothing to do with that. This is simply to help me make sense of the situation and actually help me change the situation. So I have three categories, and remember, we're not vilifying people, we're not trying to make a point or anything, we're just trying to create order. The first category is people for life. So we're actually looking at the people that are really important to us and we want to keep in our lives and build a really loving reciprocal relationship with. So people for life. Who are your people for life? The second category is nice to have people. And these are all those people that you know, your neighbors, your friends that are not in your inner circle, you know, those kinds of people who are nice to have in your life, but if they left for whatever reason, you would still be okay. The third category I call the leeches. And the reason why I call it the leeches is because we used to live off grid and there were a lot of leeches there. We lived in the forest. And I remember having a really draining conversation with somebody who claimed to be a friend of mine. So I was on the phone, I was feeling really drained by the situation. And then when I got off the call, I realized that I had 5 leeches on my leg. So I made that connection of, you know, I felt really leeched, not obviously by just the leeches, but by the conversation as well. So that's no derogatory term. It's just it just reminds me of a particular situation that made me feel very similar. So the leeches are those people who are in a relationship with you because there's something in it for you, or something in it for them, but not necessarily anything in it for you. So the step 1 of changing this dynamic is to categorize those people into different categories. The step 2 is knowing what to say to those people, how to communicate with them. So let's just say that you have a friend in your life that is having let's say your friend is having they're having to move a house. And if it's a people for life kind of friend, and you don't want to do it, or you can't currently commit to doing it because you have to do some self-care, what do you say to that person? Well, you can say something like, I can see this is really important to you. I want to support you with this as much as I can, but right now I can't do anymore. I can't help you with this. Is there somebody else who could help you with this move? So people for life, you want to encourage them to continue to ask for help even if you can't do it at that time. The nice to have person, so let's just say you have a nice to have person in your life and they're in the same situation, they're moving house and they're asking for your help, and you want to take some time for your self-care. So what do you say to that person? Well, you can say, hey, you know, thank you for thinking of me and thanks for asking me to help you. How important is it to you that I'm the one to help you right now? And you know, am I actually the right person to even help you with this? Because number 1, I'm actually not available. But number 2, I wonder if there's somebody, you know, who's more suitable for this particular job. And can you think of anybody else? So you're still being, you're still looking after your own, you know, needs, whatever you need from the situation, but you're also trying to kind of nudge them into having this kind of a conversation with somebody who might be their people for life person. All right, and number 3, when leeches reach out to me and they say, you know, can you help me with something? I tend to just not respond. Or if they continue to ask me for, you know, more attention or any reasons or anything like that why I can't do it, I say, sorry, I just can't do it. And so there's no explanations around, you know, why I can't do it or anything like that, because I don't actually owe that particular relationship anything. And I want to remind you as well, if you're tuning into this video or if you're watching replay, you can pop #replay into the comment section, is that every person does not deserve your care, your generosity of heart. You know, not every person appreciates those things consciously about you. And the key into stop having these one-sided relationships is really to understand that you yourself have value to give, and you consciously choose who you give that value to. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. And if you want to join us for the full tutorial on this topic, where we actually break it down even further and give you more precise examples and ways of dealing with this, then you can join us at our online academy, sylvilov.com. I look forward to seeing you there. So if you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up, share it with a friend who you think might need to hear it. But I want to say thank you. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for tuning in here on YouTube, and thank you for tuning in here on Facebook as well. I hope you'll have a fantastic day wherever you are. And if you're struggling with these one-sided relationships, just remember, not everyone is automatically entitled to your energy, to your goodness, and to your commitment. Okay, I'll see you at the next one.